Hello friends, welcome to the last lecture for first module in cryptography and network security. That was the introductory module towards all the cryptic techniques, cipher techniques which we have studied, and this is also one of the cipher technique which we are going to study. This technique is different than the previous ciphers, that is mono alphabetic cipher, polyalphabetic cipher, Caesar cipher, Hill cipher, Virginia cipher. We have studied all these ciphers. So this technique is a bit different type of a technique as compared to the cipher techniques, a cryptanalytic technique which we have studied till the last lecture. Today we are going to learn the another technique that is known as steganography. Let's begin with it. Now, here as you can see that the definition of steganography says that it is the art and science of writing hidden messages in such a way that no one apart from the sender and the intended recipient suspects the existence of a message, a form of security through obscurity. In simple word, we can define it as the art and science of hiding information by embedding it in some other type of the data. That means we just hide the information, we just hide our data with some other information before sending it to the receiver. Now, from where this word steganography evolved? This word steganography has its origin from the Greek and it means concealed writing. The word steganography was invented from the Greek words steganos, which means covered or protected or secured, and graphine means writing, which gives you a word steganography, that is hidden writing or concealed writing of the messages with some other information. So, steganography means hiding one piece of the data with the another so that any intruder should not be able to get the data very easily. Actually, steganography is that technique with which we can protect the data, we can give the security to our data to a larger extent, so that it becomes very difficult for the intruder or for any other attacker to get your code and to get your plain text. What are the physical techniques? Physical techniques includes hiding the messages with the tablets, with the wax tablets, hiding the messages on the messenger's body, hiding the messages on some type of the papers which can be considered as writing in the secret inks. Another type of the physical technique which includes in this steganography is message writing with in Morse code or in a knitting yarn and then knitted into a piece of cloth worn by a courier. It means that these are the different type of the techniques with which we can hide our data. Messages writing in Morse code, it's another type of the code which can be then can be compared with the on the cloth by warning by a courier, or the needed if that particular message has been provided with the concept of the steganography, then it can be knitted into piece of cloth by a courier. Then like it becomes one of the method of providing the hiding to your data. Then the messages written on the envelopes in the area covered by the postage stamps. Like when we send any letter, we do provide the postage stamps. So providing the postage stamp is like we are providing the information that we have to send the data to the respected state or something, and we then just put a stamp, revenue stamp over it, which becomes the mandatory for sending that data to the particular recipient. In a similar manner, we have to secure your data when we have to transmit over the network. So these physical techniques gives you the resemblance in which different ways you can hide your data. Now just begin with how the digital techniques help in providing hiddenness to your data, like concealing the messages with lowest bits of noisy images or sound files, like shuffling and winnowing, or if suppose any sound file is there, then we can modify the echo of the sound file with the help of the different steganography types or steganography techniques. We will be learning what are the different types of the steganography in a short while. So these are the digital techniques with which we can hide the data. The first one is the concealing message with the lowest bits of the noisy images. You must have sometimes learned about the compression of images or compression techniques. So basically, there are two types of compressions: lossless and lossy compression. Generally, lossless compression is used for the GIF images, and the lossy compression is used for the JPEG images. And now, why this compression is used? Compression is used just to reduce the size of your files, but the images or the pixels which are being getting compressed will not be modifying the effect of your image. It will just be reducing the size. It will not be modifying the effect of your images. It will not make your image look very dull, or it will not rearrange your image into different pixels, but it will just conceal the messages. It will just hide some of the things from your images. In the same manner, we can even uh, compress the sound files. We can even modify the echo of the sound files. So that is called as the echo steganography. Another type of the digital technique is there that includes in ignored sections of a file, such as after the logical end of the carrier file. It means if the file is being logically received, and if there is any error, or if some another type of technical difficulty is there, then in what manner that can be resolved. So the ignored section of a file, if it is there, which has not been delivered, or which has not been sent properly, or which is sometimes being lost over the network, that can be then should be resolved properly. And with the help of the steganography technique, we can have security over such type of the data, or we can provide the security. Now let's see what how we can compare the steganography technique with the cryptography technique. We have already learned about what the cryptography is. Now in the steganography, the unknown message is passing. Unknown messages passing means when we protect our data, when we provide information to the data, we hide the messages with the different messages. So whatever the data we are hiding with the unknown message before passing it to the network. Here within cryptography, we do know message passing, because we do know the shared key. We do know which algorithm of encryption we are utilizing. The shared key is then shared among the sender and the receiver, so which is a known key, and the same key is then used for the encryption and the decryption. That means the things which we are doing is known to us, but in the steganography, the unknown message passing is done. Here in steganography, we do use different types of known technologies. We'll be seeing what are the different types of the steganography. Steganography is there. And cryptography, we know we generally do the common technologies of encrypting the data, decrypting the data, converting the plain text into the ciphertext, and then from ciphertext to the plain text again. Here in technology still being developed for certain formats. The research is undergoing, wherein we are wherein the researchers are finding different ways of providing the steganography to the different types of the data. And in the cryptography, most of the algorithms which are being used for the cryptography are used and are considered as the well-known algorithms by the scientists. Steganography does not alter the structure of the secret message. Cryptography alter the structure of the secret message. Steganography does not alter the structure of the secret message, means when we hide the data with some other information, we do not do anything with our original data. We do not add anything, we do not delete anything, we do not update anything into the original structure of the message. But with the cryptography, we do alter the structure of the secret message by encrypting it. We do convert the plain text message, which is in the human acceptable format, which is in the understandable language into the ciphertext, which is not easily understandable. It is not the easily acceptable by the humans. So here in cryptography, alteration of the structure of the original message takes place, but in steganography, the alteration doesn't takes place. So these are the four common, and we can say these are the four more important points for the difference between steganography and cryptography. Now, this is the basic steganography model, wherein we can see that a secret object is being embedded with the covered object. Covered object is then considered as the payload. Payload is, as I told you in previously, that when we send a letter to some other state, we do provide the stamp on that envelope when we post it. So payload then can be considered as the covered object. So there the stamp, the revenue stamp which we paste on the envelope, can be then considered as the payload, which has the information of the original message and the secret message also. Then there is a stego object. We'll see what is that. Then it is passed. Stego object is then extracted at the receiver's end, and the secret object is received. So in this way, the hiding of the message and unhiding of the message takes place at the steganography model. Evolution, how the steganography evolved. Previously, there was a technique known as the watermarking technique, which then evolved into the cryptography and then the steganography. Now, these are some of the steganography terms: a carrier or cover file, stegomedium. Stegomedium is that medium in which the information is hidden. Embedded or the payload, the information which is to be hidden or concealed. Now, what is steg analysis? Steg analysis is the process of detecting the hidden information inside a file. So these are some of the steganography terms which we have seen here in the basic steganography model. Now, these are the types of steganography. Text steganography is there, image steganography is there, and audio steganography is there. In text steganography, it can be applied in the digital markup format, such as for the PDF files, digital watermark, or information hiding. It is more difficult to realize the information hiding based on the text. And these are some of the types, or we can say these are some of the different methods in which the text steganography can be utilized, or text steganography can be performed. Generally, it is performed in the hypertext markup language, which has specific characters like line shifting mode, word shifting, open spaces, providing open spaces, semantic methods, or sometimes character encoding also. So with these different types of the character specification, we can provide text steganography to your original message. The another type of steganography is image steganography, wherein we can compress your images, like using image files as host for the steganographic messages. We can take the advantage of the limited capabilities of the human visual system. As I told you that we do use, for this particular type of the steganography, we do use the compression technique, that is the lossy compression and the lossless compression, wherein we compress those pixels which are irresistible, or we can say which are resistible by the human visual system, because human visual system has the limited capabilities of visualizing those minute pixels of your images, and therefore for the GIF, for the JPEG images, there are different type of the compression techniques, and those compression techniques are used here for the image steganography. Some of the more common methods for embedding the message in the image files can be categorized into two main groups, that is the image domain methods and the transformation domain methods. In image domain methods to work upon the compression technique. Another method is that is the least significant bit, that is LSB insertion is a common and is considered as a simple approach to embedding the information for a covered image. Another type of the steganography is audio steganography, which embedded the secret messages into the digital sound, and that's why, as it is dealing with the digital sound, it is known as the audio steganography. This method generally embed the messages which are in MP3 format, MP4 format, WAV format, AU format, and so on. And the properties of the human auditory system, that is HAS, has exploited in the process of audio steganography. These are some of the applications of the steganography, like protection of the data alteration, media database systems, alleged used by the terrorist, by the intelligence services, access control system for content, digital content distribution, and so these are some of the steganography tools wherein we have the steganos, the S tools for the GIF and JPEG, the steg height for WAV and BMP, invisible secrets like compression techniques for the JPEG again, the JP hide is there, camouflage is there, Hinderman is there. So these are the different steganography tools. If you are very much keen in learning of these tools, you can very well Google about these tools and can have an idea how these steganography tools work with the different formats of the images, different formats of the text. Hope you have understood this concept of steganography. Thank you.